Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets for the next 30 days from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1.99 versus the regular price of $3.49 for a total savings of $1.50. Prices are already discounted across the board and no coupon is required. Just head over to WagerTalk.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts menu, and lock them in for 30 days across all sports for only $1.99.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Stoppage Time. This is our final World Cup qualifying edition. Domestic soccer comes back this weekend, and on Thursday's show, we will be covering some of the EPL stuff and some other significant games across Europe, and looking forward to Champions League returning in about nine days' time. With me from Sports Memo is none other than Pavlos Laguretos. And from WagerTalk.com, it's Nick. I was going to say Nick Dolan, Nick Borrman, and Kevin Dolan. Yes, I know you guys are continents apart, but near and dear to each other's hearts. Let's bring you in, Kevin Dolan. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, good. Carmine on a nice little run now, 21-12, and top-rated soccer plays 5 in one day yesterday. And look, I just couldn't be more proud of my national team, Ireland, right now. You know, we've decided to boycott the Qatari World Cup, human rights issues and so on. You know, that's why we threw both of our first two games. So, as I said, just really proud of the national team right now.
That's Nick. Welcome to the show. Are you taking what he's dishing out here or what?
Hell no, but I think it's a funny story. Oh, man. You didn't ask, but I'm doing well. Thanks, Carm. And off a 3-0 night last night with tennis and hockey, and had a winning day in the World Cup on Sunday after struggling the first 2 days. So ready to build that into today and tomorrow for the last two before we get back to club football this weekend.
Yeah, and I understand what you're saying so far in these World Cup qualifiers. Before I bring in Pavlos, of course, it's been a zig and a zag and a zig again. You know what I mean? So 10-5-1 so far. Bad Saturday, followed it up with a very good Sunday, going 5-1-1, and hopefully we can get through Tuesday and Wednesday, and we'll cover 4 of those games. And with us to cover those 4 games are Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo. Pavlos, you are on absolute fire, my friend. How's it going?
It's been great. As you said, Saturday was tough with some really weird losses, but Sunday was amazing. It was probably the best, one of the best days in my career. I had 7-1. I won 5%, a correct score at plus 500. I mean, all kinds of prop bets. It was amazing. So we're looking to bring this momentum into today's and tomorrow's matches.
All right. That's what I like to hear. And for you guys watching the games we're going to cover today, we've mixed it up a little bit. I've got Wales, Czech Republic, Austria, Denmark, England, Poland, and Montenegro and Norway. And let's kick it off with the first game, Wales, Czech Republic. This game, Wales is plus 188. The draw is plus 226. Czech Republic is plus 164. And the total currently is a very low 2.25, but that's a total that I normally expect to see in any game that's that involves Wales. And Pavlos, I'm going to go right back to you on this one, but Czech Republic sits top of the group with with Belgium, having drawn in their last game with Belgium, and that was on the heels of a big 6-2 thrashing of Estonia. Wales have only played one game; they lost to Belgium. They played a friendly since that against Mexico. And if we concede that this group is going to Belgium, ultimately, then this becomes a huge game with premium points up for grabs here, because these are likely the 2 teams that are going to battle for top spot in the group. Give me your thoughts on this game for second spot.
Yeah,
in the group.
Wales. Sorry. Yeah. Wales, they almost stunned Belgium in the first match, but they ended up losing. However, that was their only loss in their last 12 matches. And they've been actually pretty great at home with they're going undefeated in their last 7 with 6 wins and 1 draw. And I think they have to fight here. I mean, there's no there's no way to drop points here and hope for a second spot. They have to win here. So I think they'll try to make use of their good home record, but that's not going to be easy because, Czech Republic, they were great. They were almost stunned against Estonia, but they destroyed them by 6-2. And they were actually pretty good against Belgium. They could have walked out with a win there. They had, I think, 2 shots hit the crossbar in that match. And De Bruyne had another shot hit the crossbar as well. So it was an open match, and the 1-1 draw was a pretty weird result. It was an under that I had the over in that match. So with 3 crossbar hits, it was pretty weird. But anyway, Czech Republic, they got 4 of their best players back from the. They had some restrictions from the German Bundesliga, so they're back in this match, and I think that we will see goals here, guys. Both teams to score goes at -105. The draw goes at +210, and the 1-1 correct score goes at +500. So I'm in between those 3 bets here. I mean, I don't see Czech Republic dropping points here. Maybe just a draw would be enough for them to stay at the second spot. So yeah, I think that's both teams to score in my books.
Yeah, I haven't decided on a side here, and Nick, I'm going to go to you next on this one. But to Pavlos's point, it's always tough for me to look at taking both teams to score in a game where the total is 2.25 goals. It's even that half goal more, 2.5, 2 3/4. I can look at it. I just can't in this spot. And even if I was looking at both teams to score, I would have to go with I'd rather just take the 1-1 draw, because in all likelihood, that is the score line that we could see here.
Yeah, this is a very difficult one on the side. I was watching, yesterday I was looking, the line was pretty even at the pick'em price. I think Czech Republic was maybe -120 or so on the +0 pick'em line, 2-way line. Right now it's trending to their side. I see -0.25 goal starting to pop out, which I was afraid of. If you're going to take a side, I would say it's the Czech Republic, just the way they looked. You compare the game against Belgium, Czech Republic obviously drew, but they just looked much better in that game. They played Belgium much more evenly, actually outshot them 13-9 versus Wales were beaten up pretty good, 3-1, outshot 12-4, and only had 30% possession in the game, which is very tiring over the course of 90 minutes. Not going to happen in this game, but on this side edge, I would go to Czech Republic, but this isn't on my card. It's just not enough of an edge for me, and now that the -0.25 goal is coming out, I'm not huge there. But on the, both teams to score, I do like that. Really, this is kind of one I'm avoiding mostly. And if I'm going to play this, I'm looking at maybe something that's going to get a decent return with a small risk, like a correct score 1-1. Pavlos already mentioned it, +525 right now. That score just is kind of really screaming and sticking out to me. One mistake either way, one ball bounces the right way for either team could be the difference in this thing. I think it's going to be very, very close. So this is a tough one. I don't like either side necessarily, but if you can get a pick'em price on it, 2-way line, take Czech Republic. I think they have the better team, and I think on paper they should come out ahead of this more often than not. But don't lay anything. I think a draw is very likely to happen here.
Yeah, I think so too. And that draw line has dropped. I'm looking at the current numbers, and like you said, Czech Republic has now assumed that favoritism. They're +150 to Wales, +190. The draw is down to 210. And normally when we see any draw bordering on that +200 spot, there's a very good probability of that happening, which is why it's priced as such. Kev, I'm going to give you the final word on this game.
Pretty much echo the guys' thoughts. If I had to pick a side here as well, it would be Czech Republic off scratch. But, as Nick said, it's really not a play that holds that much appeal, because you can definitely see Wales getting a result here too. The bet that I like in this one is the under 1 goal first half, -156. Slightly pricey, but I expect a cagey opening here. I just can't see 2 goals taking place in the opening 45 minutes. So that's the way I'd look to play this one. Wales have kept clean sheets in their last 4 home matches against top 45 ranked nations and haven't conceded the opening goal across their last 7 matches and all as well. Czech Republic, meanwhile, have lost to 0 in both of their recent away trips to top 20 World Cup ranked sides. So while only 2 of Czech Republic's last 6 internationals in all have seen them score 2 or more goals, I think, as I say, we see a cagey opening here tonight. And, I like the look of that under 1 first half goals.
Awesome. Actually, I like that angle as well too. So I've got that marked down, and we'll see if we can get some cider or pizza money on that one. Guys, another one. I'm throwing you guys some curveballs this week in qualifying. Some of the obviously big lined games where the teams are favored by 3.5 goals and such. This one's a tight one. This one goes in tomorrow's action. Austria and Denmark. Austria is plus 207. The draw is plus 230. Denmark favorites at plus 148. The total is 2.25 here as well. Denmark top of the group right now with a couple wins to start qualifying. They beat Israel 2-0 before thrashing Moldova 8-0 in that game. Austria with a win and draw. And you look at it, these are ultimately the two teams, and this is another premium points game. And by that, I mean, these are the two teams I expect at the end to be battling for first and second spot. And you're going to want that top spot because that's automatic qualification into the World Cup, as opposed to that second spot where you've got to go now through a promotion or playoff to get in. So with that said, Kev, I'm going to go to you first on this one.
Yeah, I got to go Denmark here, as I do think they will find a way to win tomorrow night against Austria. But I actually like the value on the over 2.25 a little more. 7 of Denmark's last 10 European or World Cup qualification games against top-tier ranked pot 1 or 2 teams have seen over 2.5 goals scored. 5 of Austria's last 8 international have seen both teams score as well, including that 2-2 draw against Scotland last week, with an average of 1.67 goals per game scored across just the last 30 minutes. In those games as well. The Danes are also averaging a colossal 1.17 team goals across their last 6 victories. So even if this one starts slow tomorrow, over that 30 minutes, I should say, even if this one starts slow, this could be a great opportunity to live bet this game. We've seen that in the Scotland game as well, over for a big price if this is approaching halftime scoreless, providing neither team has broken the deadlock. So take the straight over 2.25 for me in this one, but better actually to live bet it as it gets towards halftime.
All right, I threw you a curveball there. Instead of going to Nick first, I went to you there first, Kev. But Nick, to his point, and then just looking at this game, when I talked about premium points, and this is the point I forgot to mention is, where it's no disrespect to the other teams that are in this group F, but you've got Scotland in there, you've got Israel in there, and they're probably the only 2 teams that if one of these other teams was to misstep and struggle at the wrong time could sneak into that second spot. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but thoughts on this game and this group in general?
Yeah, I mean, that's how all these World Cup qualifiers, Euro qualifiers in Europe are, right? There's always a team that before you go into it, is going to win it. And then there's always a team, or maybe 2, sometimes 3, that are battling for the second spot. And then, the teams that are just going to be punching bags basically for the group. Denmark is the team to beat in this group. We talked about it before the show. They're often overlooked, I guess, when you think of the top teams out there. You obviously think your France, your Spain's, your Italy, Germany's, but Denmark's one that they don't get enough credit. And if you look at their lineup, it's stacked. And I mean, they got Christian Eriksen, of course, Poulsen, who's a winger for Leipzig, Braithwaite from Barcelona, Højbjerg from Tottenham, Delaney on Dortmund, all the way to Leicester's keeper, Schmeichel. I mean, they're just loaded with talent. Austria's a good side too. Don't get me wrong. They're basically all Bundesliga players on that team. And they are more than capable of beating Denmark, but more often than not, I think Denmark's going to come out ahead in this game. Plus 150 it was last night. I think it's down to about 140 right now. Is still good value to grab what I think is the better team and should win this often. The Nations League for managers, club managers, that is it's in its second season. People kind of, aren't really sure of the competition and kind of, especially the bigger managers are like, it's a waste. It's wasted time for our guys playing, especially in a compact season like it is, because we play in the fall. For us as handicappers, I think it's very good. It pits teams that are very close together for 6 games. And, in these type of qualifiers, we usually only see them play once or twice, and then they get a bunch of punching bag teams, and it's hard to really gauge how good they are. But, Denmark, they did very well in League A. They finished second ahead of England, behind Belgium, of course. And Austria, they won their Group B. They're moving up to A. We'll see in the next round how good they really are. I don't think they can quite hang an A. I think they'll be the team most likely to go back down. But they didn't lose a single match, and they played against Norway, Northern Ireland, and Romania. So point being, don't go big on this. Austria is capable of coming up with a win or draw here, but I think Denmark plus 140 is just too good a value to pass up.
Pavlos, we are going to give you the final word on this game.
Yeah, you all made great points here. Those are two very good teams. I have to say that Denmark have lost only 2 of their last 33 matches. They have 18 wins, 13 draws, and 2 losses. And both losses were to Belgium. So they've been incredible. And Austria, as Nick said, they're stacked with Bundesliga players. They have a very good offensive line, but their defense is not so good. They're undefeated in the last 6 with 4 wins and 2 draws. And both teams scored in each of their last 4 matches and in 6 of their last 8. And if you look at their home matches, they have 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw in the last 8. And both teams scored in each of their last 6. So I think I'll take both teams to score here at minus 105. But the only thing that worries me a little bit is the fact that Denmark have a great defense, a great keeper. As Nick said, it's Leicester's Schmeichel. They have Valencia's right back. They have center backs from Milan and Chelsea, and the left back plays for Atalanta. So they have a really great defense. But yeah, I think I'll take both teams to score here at minus 105. And if anything, only Scotland, I think, from the rest of the group is able to challenge the second spot.
Yeah, I should have asked Kevin that on that one what he thought about Scotland. He seems to be zoned in on when they're going to win and when they're not going to win. Guys, before we get to the third game, it's $2 Tuesdays over at Sports Memo and WagerTalk. $2 Tuesdays is when you can get a featured capper who is on a very good run in a sport or in all sports overall. Their play for only $2. Over at WagerTalk, it's Ski Profit. Ski normally kills the NBA. Also WNBA, he has got a play up on $2 Tuesdays. And at Sports Memo, it's none other than Pavlos Laguretos. His play will be up at just after the show. He is the $2 capper. As he told you at the top of the show, he's absolutely on an insane run. I think 11-1, 12-1. So head over to Sports Memo after this show and pick up his $2 play that should be up before noon time. We won't get him to give it away on this show. Also, we have our show special. It ends on the 31st. I extended it till the 31st, which is the end of Europe soccer package. $249. Get all plays released in soccer, including 5% plays for only $249. That is right through to the May 23rd weekend where all European leagues come to an end. All right, guys, let's hit the third game now. This is England and Poland. This is another big game in Group I. England doing what they're supposed to be doing, top of the group, 2 wins, 7-0 goal differential after beating, I think it was 5-0 over San Marino, and then a 2-0 win at Albania. Poland sitting second in the group, a draw in their first game, a win in their second game. This game's at Wembley Stadium. England's minus 323, the draw is plus 459. Poland plus 944, a juicy almost 10-1 on them, and the goal line is 2.75, which is a split line of 2.5 and 3. I think the big news in this one is that Lewandowski is not going to be playing. He was injured in Poland's win last time out. He's headed back to Germany and will probably be off for the next 10 games or so and could miss that first game of Champions League. Kev, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Give me your thoughts on this game. Do you approach this? Is the money line way too high in this game to want to take it? And then do you look at the total or goal line instead?
Well, it's definitely not a game I want to get involved in from a side. I think that's priced, pretty competitively. But I do like the total in this one. As you said, Robert Lewandowski's out here. And for that reason, I think we're getting a little bit of value on the over here. Look, Poland have continued to struggle defensively of late. They've got serious issues at the back. They allowed 3 goals to a Hungary side last week, for example, who were without one of their star attackers. And that was only Hungary's third time over the last 21 international matches where they've managed to break the 3-goal barrier. So, that's really disappointing from a Polish perspective. England have averaged 3.8 goals per game at home scored over their last 10 internationals, and have scored during both halves in 6 of their last 9 head-to-heads against Poland as well, including a first half opener in 8 of those 9 also. So, if England get going here, they really do have the ability to shred this Polish backline tomorrow if they're firing on all cylinders. And, on the flip side, even with Lewandowski out, Poland still have the ability to score themselves here. They've scored in 10 of the last 14 away games internationally, and have scored at least 2 goals in 4 of the last 6 as well. So, as we said, they also can get on the score sheet here and help to push this one over. No question, Nick Pope. I thought he should have been English goalkeeper a while ago. He's in absolutely phenomenal form right now in between the sticks for England. But even so, I like the value. Over 2.75. I do expect at least 3 goals in this game.
All right. With that said, listen, and I agree with you. I'm going to go to Pavlos next on this one. When I looked at the total of 2.75, I was leaning under. He's making some good points, Pavlos, but I was leaning under thinking without Lewandowski and wanting to pick up a point or second spot in this group is what Poland is playing for. Top spot. We can pretty much concede that to England. So it becomes a battle between Poland and likely Hungary over who is going to win that second spot. And if you can pick up a valuable point at Wembley against England, that's going to go a long way to qualifying for the World Cup, or at least into the next promotional stage playoff. Picking up points against this Lions team is hard enough as it is without your top striker. The only way I can see you doing it is you literally commit to defense and almost park that bus for 90 minutes. Give me your thoughts, Pavlos.
True, that's very sad news for Lewandowski, because he's gonna miss three of the most crucial matches in club and national level. He's gonna miss this match, which is a really crucial one. He's gonna miss Saturday or Sundays. I think it's on Sunday's match against Red Bull Leipzig, and he's gonna miss Wednesday's match against PSG. So it's a really tough blow for both Bayern Munich and Poland. Poland, they do have some, I think, quality attackers. Hertha Berlin's Piatek and Marseille's Milik. They haven't done much this season, but they're great strikers. So they could contribute to the over here. However, in the event of an under, I think that's going to be a 2-0 correct score for England. In the event of an over, that's going to be like a 2-1 or 3-1 for England. I just can't see how Poland will save points of England here. So England minus 1.5 at minus 104 is also something to consider, because Poland's. You guys said it. They have a tragic defense. They have conceded multiple goals in 3 of the last 4. They're not notorious for their defense, and England are just tremendous at home. They have 8 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw in the last 11 home matches. So I think it's England all the way here.
All right, Nick. Final word on this game.
I wonder what this line would have been with Lewandowski in the lineup. Plus minus 1.25, maybe a quarter of a goal difference. I don't see it dropping all the way to -1. So, just trying to get an idea how much the bookmakers really value their top striker Lewandowski being out. I think most people as bettors will overvalue that play and think, oh gosh, England's should lay the wallop on Poland now. They can't score without him. But I don't think that's the case. I think Poland will probably approach this game more tactically and try to slow it down, because they know and we know that if they do get into a shootout with England, they probably won't hang. So their best tactic here is to keep this game slower. It doesn't mean that they're going to be successful, but I think they're going to try that tactic and try to really keep England strikers at bay, because we know they can score. I'm not really big on the total. I think I would lean towards the under because of that play, but ultimately I actually like the plus 1.5 goals here on Poland. I just don't see England going out here winning by multiple goals. And if Poland can net one, I think it's going to be very tough for England to cover this number. Poland doesn't lose by a big number very often. In the Nations League, they only lost by one time, 2-0 at Italy. England's only covered this number 1 time. That was against Iceland, who doesn't belong in League A for sure. So I just don't see it happen. Additionally, a couple props in this game. Ultimately, I do think England should win, 2-1 is a correct score. I like in this one, plus 800. I'll ask Pavlos if he likes that because he's been nailing those things. And Harry Kane to score. He's minus 125 to score anytime, or plus 285 as the first goal scorer, and he was the first scorer against Albania in the last match. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this thing, guys.
All right. Before we head into the fourth and final game, for just a couple of questions from the guys in chat. Normally, the Tuesday shows will try and cover games that are being played on Tuesday and Wednesday, whether it's in European competition, Champions League, World Cup qualifying, or domestic leagues, so that anyone who misses the show and tunes in later on this evening can still find some free plays or opinions on tomorrow's games as opposed to today's. And Thursday's games we try and do either a Thursday, Friday game and then games from the weekend. So anyone tuning in later on, same idea. You get opinions on the games that are still to be played. All right, guys, before we go to this last one again, which is going to be the Montenegro-Norway game, for those who don't know, there is no VAR and goal line technology in this World Cup qualifying. It is beyond me why that is. And if anyone knows where I'm going with this one, Portugal, unfortunately, were absolutely robbed against Serbia. A final second Ronaldo goal for Portugal did go over the line. The referees or officials admitted and apologized to the Portugal team after the game. It means nothing because the game ended in a 2-2 draw. And a competition this big to not have a goal line technology at the very least, if they're not going to have VAR, really hurts their product. All right, with that said, I'm finished venting. Montenegro, Norway. Montenegro plus 429 at home. The draw is plus 280. Norway is minus 134. The total is 2.5. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you last on this one. Montenegro is 2-0 so far in the group, but expected wins over Latvia and Gibraltar. They now face a Norway team that has more scoring on it, that can actually attack them and hurt them, because I wouldn't expect Montenegro to end up near the top of this group. This is a competitive group. Turkey is playing lights out right now. Netherlands, a win and a draw, and a win and a loss, and that they're going to pick it up at some point. So wins are, again, this is another premium 3 points, Pavlos. Give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I really like Montenegro here with plus half a goal at plus 105. They're great. They have a better team than it looks. They have a very good forward up front. His name is Stefan Jovetic. He's already scored 3 goals. He plays for Monaco this season. He scored 3 goals already. Of course, those goals came against Latvia and Montenegro, but he's a very good striker, and he has some other good offensive players around him. So they've been great. They have 3 wins and 1 draw in the last 4, and then they've only lost to Luxembourg in their last 8. So each of their last 3 and 4 of the last 5 matches had over 2.5 goals. And I think they have a chance to do something great against Norway's defense, which was really, really soft against Turkey. However, Norway, they were really unlucky in that match because they had 2 shots hit. I think it was 1 shot that hit the crossbar and 2 disallowed goals. So I think they should have scored against Turkey, but it was an unlucky result for them. And 8 of Norway's last 11 matches had over 2.5 goals, and 5 of those had goals from both sides. So I think Norway, they have to win this match, because if they don't, they are in deep trouble, because with Turkey with 6 points, Montenegro have 6 points. If they win, they'll go to 9 points. Netherlands have 3. I think Norway, they have to push for a win here, but I don't think that they'll get it, because they have a very naive defense, and Montenegro can certainly hurt them. So I think the odds are very they don't do justice for a Montenegro side who are very, very good. So Montenegro plus 105. The outright draw is also a very good spot, because if Montenegro get a draw here, it would be good for them. So the draw goes at plus 250. Both teams' score goes at minus 110, and Stefan Jovetic's score goes at plus 200. So that's all.
All right, I like it. We are on different sides of this. And I'm going to go to Nick next on this one, because I seem to think that Norway can't afford to drop any more points. This is a game where they're going to need to score and they're going to need to win. Nick, give me your thoughts on this game.
I'm going to convince you otherwise, Carm. I think
All right.
Montenegro, I agree with Pavlos, is the play here. I looked at that scoreline against Turkey, 3-0, and yes, Norway probably should have scored in that game, but still, it opened my eyes a little bit. I'm like, that was a little bit surprising. And then I kind of look back at their history, and they're not good on the road. They're just simply not good on the road. They have 6 road wins in their last 17 games in all competitions. And who do they beat? I mean, they beat all the League D teams. They beat Gibraltar, Faroe Islands, Malta, Cyprus, San Marino. They're all the terrible teams. The only quality you win, and I say that with a grain of salt because Kevin will argue against Northern Ireland being quality, was against them on the road. Otherwise, they haven't beat anybody. I mean, against similar strength in Montenegro, they lost and drew at Romania. They drew at Slovenia, lost to Bulgaria, lost to Northern Ireland in another game, lost to Czech Republic, lost to Azerbaijan. I don't know. I don't trust them laying a number on the road. You said that they have to win. I think that makes it worse. That puts the pressure on them. And I don't know. I don't trust them to show up. They haven't shown yet that they can do it. Yes, they have Holland, and yes, he could score 10 goals himself. But Montenegro is a very underrated side. In their Nations League C group, they gave up 2 goals. They blew through that group, no problem. We'll see what they're really about when they get up to League B. But listen, I think this game is going to be pretty close. I think Montenegro have a good chance to at least draw, if not win at home. And if Norway is to win, I don't see it by more than a goal. So I personally have this on my card, Montenegro plus 3/4 of a goal. Again, that 1-goal loss, if they do end up losing, is just a half wager or half loss on that bet. So I really like the value there. But I think Montenegro is the play on this one, guys, plus goals.
All right, Kev, I'm going to go to you for the final word on this one, while telling Nick that the exact score on this game will be 3-1 Norway plus 1,400. Put some pizza money on it, Papa John's or whatever pizza places in your area. But 3-1 Norway final score plus 1,400. Kev, final word.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Carmen. I'm going to have to make it a sweep with the boys here. I think Montenegro are value here, especially because the line is trending up to a full 3/4 now from earlier where it was only a half. Norway looks like the low-hanging fruit, minus 120 simply to win. I think, with Haaland and all this, a must-win game, which it is pretty much for Norway. It's going to be very appealing for the public, so you can understand that money coming in on that side. But, as the guy said, Montenegro are a pretty decent team, and the books know they're a decent team as well. This is actually the first game entered into as an outsider for Montenegro for almost 2 years. So it kind of shows you the kind of level they've been performing at. For me, it's just the form of both teams ahead of this one. 3 straight wins for Montenegro. Norway have won just one of the last 4, which was that 3-0 away win to Gibraltar. Me and my friends could probably beat Gibraltar, to be honest. So that's simply not going to impress anybody. If I'm, as I said, if I'm going to play this one, I'm going to look towards the home dog here, catching that 3/4 goal head start. Because as Nick said, a win or draw tonight for Montenegro to me is a much more likely scenario than Norway showing up here, blowing them out by 2 more goals. So yeah, not a game I'll be betting personally. It hasn't made my card, but definitely a strong lean to Montenegro in the handicap for me.
Awesome. Nothing warms the cockles of my heart more than knowing that all 3 of you guys are on the opposite side of me on this game. I love it. If there's at least one show where the 3 of you disagree with me, it's great. I love it. This is what makes this show what it is and why I love you guys. All right, guys, listen, thanks to everyone for tuning in. We're going to be back on Thursday with another Stoppage Time. Remember, it's $2 Tuesdays over at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. Ski Profit is the $2 capper at WagerTalk. He has an big NBA play up for today. Head over to wagertalk.com. Pick that up for only $2. Over at Sports Memo, it will be none other than Pavlos Laguretos from this show. Show him some love. Head over there, buy that play for $2. And within that play, there'll be some additional deals that you can get on some other stuff that Pavlos has up on his page. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button, and we'll see you.
Known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.